Guys, after subscribing to this channel, please make sure that you also press the bell icon so that no notification, no new video of mine, any educational video is missed by anybody.
Now the next segment of my quiz to my students. Now let's have a look at this particular scenario. Do you see that the cervix is coming out? Can you also appreciate the fact that anterior vaginal wall and posterior vaginal wall, the proximal point are at their respective places? But this is an apical descent. Nevertheless, it's an apical descent. The uterus has come out, more so the cervix has come out. And let's make a grid in this case. So point A and point AP, let's finish them off because they are the safest. They are both at -3 centimeters. Since they are inside the introitus, they are both at -3 centimeters. Point BA, which happens to be the most prolapsed part of the anterior vaginal wall, but definitely above AA, is at this is the introitus, so maybe I can measure it at +3. Let's call it +3 centimeters, shall we? And maybe cervix is at the similar level, so let's call this also maybe +4 centimeters. So they are outside the introitus. The cervix is outside the introitus, but BA happens to be almost along with the cervix. What about point BP? Point BP happens to be camouflaging with the posterior fornix because there is no posterior fornix now. What is inside is basically point AA. There is no fornix. The fornix has come down along with the cervix, of course. So if cervix is at +4 centimeters, and point BP is around almost the same place, so this also becomes +4 centimeters, and automatically this becomes +4 centimeters. As far as the vaginal length is concerned, well, you can measure this as the total vaginal length in that case, which is almost at maybe -4 centimeters, whatever length is left. In my previous lecture, there was no vaginal length almost because the entire cervix was outside along with the entire vagina. So there was no place to put your hands inside to measure the total vaginal length. But in this case, there is a little bit of vaginal length left because it's not the entire prolapse. Some part of cervix is also inside. Some part of obviously uterus is also inside. Just the cervix part has kind of elongated and protruded outside. So there is some length of vaginal wall, but there are also instances where the elongated cervix has come out of the introitus and the vaginal wall is pretty long. That is also there. That also your grid will tell you. So what does this grid tell you? The grid tells you that this is an apical defect. If this is coming out along with these 2 points, it happens to be an apical defect. There is no problem in the proximal defects. Anterior vaginal wall has definitely a laxity, but it's more so because of the apical descent, not because of a bulge. Had this been bulgy, or let's say this had been at plus or maybe -1 or 0 station, and this would have been at its place. It would have been a cystocele or a urethrocoele. The entire anterior compartment is bulging, but the apical place, stumps are at their place. But this shows something else. See, this is why this grid in one shot, by now you've practiced it so much with me, I've given you so many examples, I'll give you more, but by now at least this concept must be clear to you that if you look at this particular place and something goes wrong over here, but this is fine, and this is fine, it is just anterior vaginal wall. And now I'll come to the posterior vaginal wall in my next segment, so just watch out.